Do you think that this pace will continue once these games start hitting PC?
Yes, I think so. Because again, it's going to be to Sony. Sony's not going to shoot itself in the foot. It understands kind of its bread and butter, and I've talked about this a few different times. It's less important for Microsoft because Microsoft is also the PC scene. They are both at the same time, whereas Sony is I have my console. This is the place I like to make my games. But they're now steadily starting to realize that eventually my games stop selling on my console because everyone who wanted them has bought them and they've played them, and there's a limit to how much I can sell. But then when I tap into this whole other market, it allows me to get such a more significant return on my investment because the cost of getting something ported is much, much less than the cost of designing something from the ground up. So I've already done that work. If I pay a little bit more to port it, and then all of a sudden I gain access to a whole bunch more people. And the thing about PC gaming people too is if I own the PlayStation and I bought the game for my PlayStation,
They're gonna
when it
buy it
comes
on
out on
PC.
PC, probably gonna want it on my PC too. So
Yep.
now you've grabbed the people who didn't buy it before that always wanted to but didn't want to invest in the console for that one game, and the people who were like, man, I really like this game so much. Because usually when it gets ported, there's something extra, some DLC added in or something a little bit extra, so they'll be like, ah, this is convincing me to buy it again. So you're making more money at a much lower and upfront investment. So there's no downside to it whatsoever. The only people you're upsetting are the people who don't want other platforms to play the games for whatever sad little reason they have. Doesn't make any sense to me. I can't understand it, but that's the way it goes. And as far as like the console sales numbers go, I've never been like I'm awful at knowing what developer does what games or who's behind what projects. Like unless they're like the most well known, like Cory Barlog and Sony Santa Monica, I know because he's kind of like up at the peak as far as everybody has loved the things that I've done and I've been successful for a really long time. I know him. Everybody else, like it's not against them. I don't really pay attention to that stuff as much. For me, it's more by game. Do I like game? Yes, I enjoy game. And then I kind of try and play other things I see that are similar. So the numbers themselves in terms of comparison don't mean as much to me. I don't care who sells more consoles or anything like that. But I do like seeing that these numbers for both companies are getting bigger because that to me just shows the growth of gaming as a hobby and its popularity. And I enjoy that because it's something I enjoy. And so if more people enjoy it, that means more people will want to spend money to make it better, and more people will want to keep spending money to keep doing it. So it's like, yay, my hobby's like being solidified as something that'll be around for a while. I think that's great.
And it definitely means that it's gonna be a back and forth of who can make the dopest shit.
Yes,
Yep.
I like that kind of competition.